Good morning and welcome to the weekly Team Achieve call. This is my first one back after 2 weeks being on vacation at the Beachbody Coach Success Club trip on a cruise, which was absolutely amazing. So I figure I'll give you guys a brief overview first of what pretty much I experienced on the trip. So if you've been on a cruise before, you already know all the fun stuff that comes with the cruise. It's 24/7. Each night they give you an itinerary for the next day. And I didn't know there would be so much to do. I literally thought I would be hanging poolside with a margarita the whole time. I didn't know there was a huge theater that does Broadway shows. We saw, what did we see? Saturday Night Fever, the Broadway. And then we also saw a 1 hour clip of Cirque du Soleil in the air. So they're doing all that crazy ribbon work. And this is all included on the cruise too, which kind of blew my mind. I figured there would be shows and that kind of stuff, but yet you would have to pay some extra for it. So the fact that you literally just show up, put your wallet away, and you get to just hang out on this huge boat and experience all those things was pretty cool. So of course it was Beachbody that bought out this cruise. So we had a ton of extra activities. So we had the morning workouts with Shaun T and Tony Horton. They were both back to back, so I did doubles most days. And got to even snap a picture with Tony Horton because we ran into him during the white party. The white party, kind of similar to Summit, was you dress all in white. It's a poolside party. That was one of my favorite memories, and here's why. It poured down rain that night. It was absolutely beautiful weather the whole trip, and we happened to get caught right in the middle of a huge rainstorm. And the funniest part about this was it was the white party. There was about 3,000 people on the whole boat. I would say there was about 300 to 400 people that were at this white party. It was on the upper deck outside, and there's tons of pools and hot tubs everywhere. And there's this huge circular area that you can walk around, and that's where everybody hung out because it was raining. Literally everyone was standing there not doing anything, and they're blasting the best music. And so Tristan and I go out there, we start walking around, saying hi to a few people I ran into, and then we look out and we see that people are saying screw it, we're celebrating, we need to be out there. And so people started running out onto the main center deck in the middle of the rain and just dancing their hearts out. And there was only about 15 or 20 people out of that entire group, which kind of blew my mind. And so Tristan and I said, screw it. We took our shoes, socks off. We took our cell phones out, and we went and had a blast. And I got a few video clips I need to splice together this week. But it was pretty cool to just pretty much live in that moment. And we were dancing and bouncing around in the rain for almost an hour. Everyone's just completely soaked. And it cracked me up that so many people were just standing and watching for the whole hour. And in that moment, at the same time that I'm out there partying it up and celebrating, I kept thinking that it's kind of a funny correlation because we were the ones who didn't care if we could dance or not. I can't dance. I can tell you that right now. So the fact that we were out there in the middle, kind of just saying, screw it, I don't care what people think, I'm going to do what makes me happy. And we're out there bouncing around and dancing. And I'm watching all these people that are just watching on the sidelines. They're just standing there. They're not doing a thing. They have the opportunity to jump out there with us and have the time of their lives, but they chose not to for whatever reason. And it's funny how, leave it to me to correlate this kind of stuff together, right? So I kind of looked in that moment. I'm like, you know what? That's how a lot of coaches are. That's how a lot of Beachbody people are. They don't put in the extra. They're too afraid for whatever reason. That fear is holding them back. And so I thought that was a pretty cool little analogy moment for myself that, I was out there in the middle. Like I said, there's only about 20 of us out of a couple hundred that were out there celebrating. And it just made me feel proud to be in the position that I'm in. And I'm not talking about Diamond Coach and where I'm at with income, that kind of stuff, but the position I'm in where I've developed myself to the point where I literally do not give a damn about what people think about me. And you kind of have to have that attitude as not just a coach, but as a business owner, because we are in a business. you have to do stuff that other people are not going to understand. You have to, especially in network marketing, you have to get out there and talk to so many people. People are going to think you're in a pyramid scam or, whatever. And you just have to have that mentality of get out there and be crazy, because I know I'm not alone. A lot of you on the live call are with me on this lifestyle and this company makes me happy. So I'm going to not care what people think about me. I'm going to take the good with the bad, and I'm just going to run with it. It's obviously worked out well for me so far. So that's just the kind of the thing I'm throwing out there. So that's how I correlated that whole white party incident with kind of, just building the business and being a coach, because a lot of people do just stand on the sidelines and watch the action happen, right? A lot of people stand on the sidelines at just a basic coach and they look at all the diamonds and above and just watch. But there comes a time that you have to learn to take it seriously, and you have to join those guys, because you don't want to spend your whole life just watching. That's no fun at all. So be crazy and jump out there in the rain and start dancing away, because that's what we did that night. It was a blast. So that was kind of the main little incident that happened that really I keep reflecting back on, because it was such a perfect analogy there, correlation. So we had the top 10 panel where they brought the top 10 coaches on the stage, which I actually recorded the whole thing and I put it up in the group for you guys. So if you have not seen that, I highly recommend it. All these 10 coaches are giving awesome little tidbits of advice. I think it's probably about 30 minutes long. So pretty short, but some good nuggets in there. Actually, a couple of them I jotted down here I'm going to talk to you guys about. So aside from that, the whole trip, it wasn't like Summit. For those of you who have been to Summit, you get in there, it's all business. You get in there and you learn the absolute most that you can in 3 days. This one was more of a celebration, because obviously most of us earned that trip from last year. So Carl Deichler, which I kicked myself in the butt, and I need to find the video because I did not bring my camera this day, but Carl Deichler got up there and shared his story, because a lot of people don't know Carl's story. A lot of people don't know where he came from and the struggles he went through. You just see him as the big CEO ranking in all this cash, right? Every CEO started in the exact same position we are in. And so Carl shared his story, and I have it on one of my quotes here. I'll share it later on in the call here. But his whole theme of the story was, you just have to work your ass off. And Carl was talking about how he was 12, 13, 14 years old, and he was working in a concession stand for his dad. And he loved handling that cash, and he loved selling those products and upselling. If you're gonna get a popcorn, you need a soda. If you're gonna, you have a friend, right? Get them a popcorn, get them a soda. And it was funny how he made it go perfectly with what we do with Beachbody and P90X and Challenge Packs and all that stuff, because it all is product. It's never the product itself that's making the sales. It's you. People are coming to you. I've sold products to people that they probably don't even like the products, but they keep buying because they like me for some reason. That's just the honest truth. So the trip, kind of as an overview, it was totally one of those had to be there moments. I can do the most inspiring videos about it. I can get up here and tell you guys every little detail that happened. It's never going to have the impact that it will have if you work your ass off and get to one of these, which we have Cancun coming up next year. So for those of you who are not on the waiting list for this, because it is sold out right now, sign up and get on the waiting list. Bust your ass to get there. You can sign up for the quarterly payments of $250. And even if here's the thing. So even though we had 3,000 people on the cruise, right? Most people probably paid to get on that cruise. There's very few of us that actually earned it through hitting Success Club 5 for 9 months in a row, or for earning enough cruise dollars to cover the room. Same thing with Cancun. You can either pay the $250 quarterly, which is $1,000 total at the end of the year, and still get on that trip, or you can bust your ass in Success Club if that's a goal of yours, and you can get Success Club 5 for 9 months in a row. And you can, if you want to rack up points sooner, kind of what I'm doing this year, I'm racking up as much as I can to get the whole $100,000 paid for through the resort dollars. Even if you don't earn it, pay your way to get there. Because when you get to experience one of these Success Club trips live in person in the moment, you will honestly experience what freedom can feel like. Because this correlates with my turning point in my life and my business was when Jason brought me as a guest onto the Atlantis Bahamas trip. I didn't earn my way on there. I had to pay out of pocket to get the plane ticket and all this extra stuff that came with it because I didn't earn the freebies. But even though I didn't earn that trip, just being there opened up my eyes to what freedom and success can feel like. Not necessarily wealth. You don't need a ton of money. Like Tristan and I didn't bring a ton of money on this trip. We didn't really spend a whole lot extra. But just looking back to the Bahamas, when I remember sitting on that beach and having that moment after the fireworks went off where I just went, I want this to be my life. I want to live this lifestyle like these guys do. And so that's why I'm recommending in Cancun, even if you don't think or don't have that belief yet that you'll hit Success Club every single month, still get your butt there, because I can promise you, you will have aha moments that you will never have unless you get to one of these. Same thing with Summit. If you are not registered for Summit, make it happen, because I don't know one successful coach that ever made this business work solely by staying at home on a computer. You have to get to these events, especially Summit. Summit is the number one event of the year. So if you are not registered, get registered, find a way to pay for it. If you can break it down into, okay, the trip, let's say you budget $500 or $600 for the whole trip. You know how many challenge packs you should be selling, right? You get on average like a $50, $60 commission off of those things. So set a goal to sell 10 challenge packs. That will before Summit, because if you sell those challenge packs and take that money, put it in a separate account or take it out in cash and leave it in a jar, you're going to have that trip already paid for, not coming out of your regular paycheck. That's kind of what Tristan and I did for this Success Club trip. We were taking my Beachbody checks and using my massage money and her medical assisting money. That was all going towards our regular bills and life. But I was taking my Beachbody checks on the side and putting those in a jar because it feels like it's not coming out of our regular income. So for Summit, find a way, guys. Sell stuff. You know, Dawn, when she first bought a challenge pack, she didn't have the money, but she sold like $160 worth of stuff in 2 days. If you want it bad enough, you'll find ways to do it, not an excuse. So get to Summit, because that is hands down the most important event you can get your butt to. Me and Jason, we signed up pretty much together. Jason signed up in December 2008. And then a month later, I found him on YouTube. I signed up January 2009. And we kind of teamed up and said, you know what? We see all these other guys making this thing work. Why not try it? So that's where we started. But that first year, Summit came around and we kind of looked at it and went, it's just one of those cheesy events you go to and blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets hyped up. And we didn't really feel a need to do it. We felt like we didn't need it. We can do it without. And I remember Summit came around and we were following a few people on, I think we may have even been using MySpace at the time. Facebook wasn't too big at the time. So whatever social media we were using, we were watching a few other coaches that went to Summit, and their businesses went boom those 2 or 3 weeks coming out. And Jason and I both looked at each other and went, oh crap, we probably should have went to that. But at the time I couldn't afford it. I was on a Quiznos budget, just getting into massage therapy. And moving forward, the next Summit came around. Jason and I scraped and saved to get there. I literally had $200 in my name when I went down to my first Summit. And I came back with probably $10. And it was in LA at the time. So I made sure I budgeted. I ate a lot of protein bars because they were cheap and I can get a lot of them in me to fill me up. You can go on these trips with a budget, guys. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. So when we went to that first event, though, both Jason and I had our first aha moment, because you'll have more than one throughout this business. I had my first aha moment the night of what they used to call, what is now the Beachbody Challenge, used to be the $1 Million Body Club. So they had the final contestants up there on stage, and then they announced the winner and the balloons and blah, blah, blah. And at that point was when I realized what Beachbody is about, and more importantly, what we as coaches are about, or what we should be about. Because at the time I had the mentality, because I had been signed up for a year. Yeah, about a year and a half I had been signed up, and I had been trying to do it by myself on my computer. So all I thought was, I run this little shop that I sell P90X out of. That's what I do. That's my job title. I'm just a salesman that sells these products. But when I got to experience Summit and that final contestant winning the $100,000 and seeing all their success stories, and realizing behind each success story, there was a coach that helped them get there. I had that moment where I told myself, I want to be that coach that helps people get there. I don't care if they lose 100 pounds or if they just change internally for the better. I want to be that coach that inspires that person and helps them on the journey. So that's where I had my first moment. And a lot of people, we had, Jen, Tom, Danny, Travis. I don't think I'm missing anybody. So we had those 4 at Summit last year, and all 4 of them had the same experience. They came out just like, holy crap, that was Summit. Get to Summit, guys. If I have not said that enough now, if you need help with anything, if you need more advice on different ways that you can pay for it, reach out to me. I will do my best to help you get there however I can, because it's extremely important. And another thing with that, I don't ever want you guys to do this for me. I have my personal goals of getting up to 5 stars, my big goal, 2 stars, my current goal, but I never want anyone to do it for me. I want you guys to have your fire for your goals, because I will grow organically with the business. Obviously, that's how the business is set up. When your teams grow and succeed, you will organically and naturally grow and succeed. But I want you guys to go to these events, Summit, Cancun. I want you to go there because you know deep down inside of you that you deserve this lifestyle. You deserve the freedom because you want it for you and your families, of course. So those are kind of my two main topics I want to cover. Is just a quick trip overview. And I've been playing some serious catch up. I literally, so most of you probably saw my flight got bumped on Monday night. So I had planned on being home Monday night. I actually got stuck in Chicago for that whole night. So I didn't get back till about 1 hour before Fit Club yesterday. And I just woke up in time for this call today. My sleep schedule is thrown way off for those Eastern time zone differences. So I can't even tell you how many videos I have in my head that I need to get out. Just like that one where I was on the balcony on the cruise. Because I have so much up here inside of here that I just need to get on video. But like I said, don't rely on me telling you about the trips. Don't rely on, oh, Coach Chaz is going to Summit. I'm going to wait until he gets back and hear about everything he learned. Don't wait for anyone else to give you the information. Get up and make it happen for yourself, because you will get 1,000 times more out of it. It's just like some of the top coaches, I had seen all their videos. I had seen all their information, and I've heard them speak through videos and got inspired off of that. Even when I went to a Summit last year and I got to hear the same coach give the same information from the same speech that I saw in a video, I took more out of it just from being there in person. It's crazy how that happens. I mean, some of you guys may have experienced something like that down the road, but when you're there in person, you take way more out of it, especially when you're with a team. I am so pumped for Summit because we get to have a team there. It's not just going to be myself. Like last year when I got to, we hung out inside of my hotel room for, it must have been Tom, like 3 hours? We were inside my hotel room from like 9 to midnight.
Pretty much all night.
Yeah, literally. So, and I just wanted to do a quick, it was kind of like my videos. Hey guys, quick video here.
It's
Um,
kind of funny. It's kind of funny too, because like everyone's like, what did you do? You know, in Vegas, did you go to like any shows or did you like go dance and party? I'm like, no, we just hung out in the hotel room.
yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. So that's one of the coolest parts, and I was so excited. We had one coach from the team, Eddie, there the previous year, and we didn't really plan a whole lot together. So when I got to see four of my teammates there in person, and I said, "Hey guys, come up to the hotel room real quick. We'll do just a quick little team get together," and it turned into a 3-hour thing of me just giving out as much info as I possibly could, and just being there as a team in person. It was awesome. We got to spend the whole week together, and I loved it. So that's what I'm most excited about as far as this summit is. I cannot wait for you guys to just be there in person as a group instead of here on videos, right? So moving forward, I just jotted down a few quotes I've heard throughout the whole, whether it be the top 10 panel or Carl Deichler's speech, just pretty much on the Success Club trip, just a few quotes that I heard that kind of really stuck with me. One of them, this one was from, who was it from? Lindsay Matway, and it's in her top 10 panel video. She basically was talking about her Facebook and how she uses it. And she used the term your own mini reality show. And it totally reminded me of how I started with the business. Jason and I both started with videos. This. So Jason and I both started with videos on YouTube. Literally, like a month after I started getting my videos out. And I would post the good, the bad, workouts, nutrition, my life. It was never just about business. I posted everything. And it totally was my own little reality show. And I feel, me personally, I kind of lost touch with that a while ago because I got to a point where I stopped doing videos as much. And when I started videos, it was always a workout, a workout, a workout, a workout. And I kind of lost touch with what got me going with this whole thing. So when she said she was doing her Facebook post, and like I said, you can use videos, Facebook postings, or Instagram are the big ones. So when you're posting, think about the fact that you have viewers. You have people waiting for that next episode, right? People wake up, and believe it or not, people wake up and they go to your profile to see what you posted today. You may not think it's true, but based on 5 years experience and hundreds, if not thousands of people reaching out to me saying, "Hey Chaz, I've been following you for 2+ years. And I just want to say every single post you do, I look forward to, and they're so inspiring." It just blows you away because I call them ghost followers because you never see them. They never like your stuff. They never comment, but they're there. They're waiting for that next episode. So every time you're posting, think about your viewers. And with that, there's another one down here I'm going to cover that kind of goes with this, but I have to say this. When you're thinking about your viewers, don't get stuck in the what do my viewers want to see mode. Be authentic. So know that people are waiting to see your posts, but don't change what posting you were going to do based on who's watching. We've all got stuck in the mode where you want to do a post about something, but you don't because, well, what if this person sees it? What will they think? We've all been there. But when you learn to just run your own reality show, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, just be you, just do it. And I thought that was a really cool one because it made me reflect back on my videos when I first started. And that's actually something I'm going to be doing again, kind of like Coach Chaz TV or something like that. Moving forward, like actually example, if you look at my Coach Chaz Fitness YouTube channel, the last couple videos, I did one 2 nights ago when I got stuck in Chicago. I was talking about proof that being kind works through those airline vouchers and stuff that I got. That wasn't business related. That wasn't about Beachbody at all. It was just me sharing what being kind to people can do. Kind of one of my philosophies in life is respect. And so that was kind of a reality TV, giving people a sneak peek into my life or something cool that happened. So my last couple of videos, I've been trying to get back on track with that. So, and of course, you guys watch my videos if you ever want ideas for something. If I talk about something, you're like, "Ooh, that's a really good idea," and I want to add my own spin to it, feel free to snatch whatever I say and add your own spin to it. Next one is, who is this? Amy Silverman. If you want to lead others, you must first lead yourself. This one was crucial because we all get stuck trying to manage our teams, trying to manage our challengers, trying to manage. But when you get stuck in that mode, your workouts, your nutrition, your personal development, these three things start to slip. And those are our three big behaviors, right? Or even your own business building, you're inviting, you're building a challenge group, that kind of stuff, that can slip. It's this whole thing, this life is about balance. You have to find that nice, even consistency where each thing is getting some attention. Just like for myself, I've had a huge problem in the past with, I would either be all fitness and nutrition and I would look great and I would feel great, but then my business slipped because I wasn't giving it any focus, or vice versa. I was rocking the business, getting up in ranks and pulling in more money, but I looked like a fatty on the side because I wasn't working out or eating right. You have to find that healthy balance between the two. And for me personally, it comes through scheduling. Go back and watch the Franklin Covey training. I like to be scheduled. I cannot wake up without knowing what I'm going to do for the day because I end up just lounging and I don't get crap done. So I'm a scheduled person. That's how I run. Other people are not scheduled at all and they do great with it. You have to find what works for you. But if you like schedule, go back and watch the recordings from the Franklin Covey trainings. So I just love that quote though. If you know, now I kind of added, I said it a different way when I posted it in the group the other day. How do you expect to lead others if you can't even lead yourself? Because a lot of people, they talk about it and they know about it and they read about it, but they don't do it for themselves. And like I've said before, people will do what you do, not what you say. Some of my most unsuccessful challenge groups were the months that I was not on top of my own stuff. Even though I was posting daily challenges, even though I was posting inspiring things in the group and I was telling them exactly what to do to lose weight and get healthy, they weren't doing it because a lot of people, you know, I can imagine a lot of people are questioning, well, sure, he's giving out all this advice, but where's he at? And you cannot get stuck in that mode. And when I started catching myself doing that, I got better and better and better. So now I truly, for the first time, I feel like I live this lifestyle now. I don't do it off and on, a month here, a month there. I actually live the lifestyle, and that's something you have to do. You have to lead yourself. So if you're struggling with your workouts and your motivation, guess what? Your people are going to struggle with their workouts and their motivation because they follow exactly what you do. So learn to take control of yourself to gain self-discipline. And mini tangent that I kind of went over in my burpee video I did last week, maybe a week and a half ago when I first got to Florida. So with this whole leading yourself, and if you're struggling with your nutrition, that kind of stuff, I'm starting to learn that the word struggle just means you keep choosing the bad stuff, right? Think about it. If somebody says, I struggle with nutrition, all that means is I keep choosing to eat shit. That's all it means. I struggle with motivation just means you don't have a big enough why. You don't know why you're doing this. Because when you actually have that burning fire for something, you don't struggle with motivation. Yeah, you have days where you're not as motivated, but overall, you get stuff done because you know it needs to get done, right? That's commitment. That's the difference between motivation and commitment, especially in, you know, this all relates to the business too. If you are motivated temporarily, yeah, you're going to see a little boost and start talking to some people. But guess what? When motivation goes away and complacency takes its place, business starts to drop again. And then you get to this point where you're going, oh, this doesn't work. What's happening? I'm not getting any new people. Commitment is where it's at, guys. So this whole leading yourself, you have to stay committed to your fitness. Follow a program, guys. If you're like me, you own every program possible, right? You have a library of programs. There is no reason why you should not be following one of those right now. Start day one today if you're not. Follow a program, fitness-wise. Follow the nutrition guide or some type of nutritional protocol. Invite people constantly because that's the biggest struggle point. Everyone is looking for the big secret to success. And that actually brings me to my next quote, which I have on my phone here. Something that Carl Deichler said when he was sharing his story. There will never be a foolproof system. The one thing you need to understand is work. And for us in our business, work means invite. Work does not mean scroll through Facebook, comment on somebody's thing, like this post, like some stuff on Instagram. That's not work. Work in our business is inviting people to challenge groups and to the business. That's literally as simple as you need to make it. Don't worry about all the external stuff. Don't worry about all the other trainings that you can learn about. All of the other search engine optimization and how to blog and all this extra shiny stuff. It's great information if you use it, but most of us learn about that stuff and read about it and then never implement. So all that shiny stuff aside, lead yourself and be committed to inviting, because that's the biggest portion. That's the biggest piece of the puzzle that people miss. As far as business goes, you have inviting right here, and you have fitness, nutrition, Shakeology, all that smaller stuff around it. That's how the business is set up. If I wish it was as simple as just drink your Shakeology, work out, and post about it, and you would get all these people coming to you. Guess what? It's not. And that also brings another point that I heard. I forgot to write it down, but somebody else on the top 10 panel was talking about how you can't just post about this lifestyle and Beachbody and sit back and do this. Where's everyone at? You can't expect others to come to you, because as a coach, you may have already developed your mindset to a leader. You may be confident. You may have had your own transformation now, but that's now. You are confident enough to reach out to people, right? If you saw somebody post something inviting you to something you were interested about, you would probably not have an issue messaging them and saying, hey, I saw you just posted this. Can you tell me more, right? We don't have a problem with that because we are confident now. But remember, a lot of your viewers on your Facebooks and your YouTubes, they're not like that. Remember back when you first started this journey and you were extremely your self-image was really low, your confidence was low, everything was just not confident. Your whole being, your mind, your heart, everything was closed, right? Remember, reflect back, like take time after this call to really reflect back to how life was. The stress, everything that comes with that. I mean, stress is a huge killer in life. Just think about that stress and the low confidence. Now, think about the fact that most of your Facebook friends, most of your friends in person, that's exactly how they are right now. So if all you're doing is posting these invites and waiting for people to come to you, they're not going to message you. They're not going to come to you right away because they're not confident in themselves. They're scared. They have fear way more than we do. So remember, just kind of put yourself in their shoes looking at your own post and ask yourself, would I reach out to this person? So that in that case, that's where that like button comes in handy, because a lot of people who are fearful and have low confidence, they're going to like the post and leave it at that, right? So anytime I do invites for challenge groups of the business, I always reach out to the people who like it. Obviously, if they're not a coach already or somebody I know personally and I've already talked to them, but reach out to the people. And this is where you always hear us say, talk to new people, right? Just get in the habit of reaching out to someone first. You have to be the person that initiates the conversation. And it doesn't have to be about business. I don't think I've ever signed anyone up. Actually, I have signed people up this way. I've signed people up that I never talked to on a personal level. And guess what happened? They dropped out within 6 months because I didn't find out their goals. I didn't find out if they were good for my team. I don't sign just anyone up anymore. I have to be picky because I don't want a team of laziness. I want a team of people who have a similar mindset that I do on life. Because you guys know me, I'm not just about business. I'm about living life. And that covers all aspects of life. That's the kind of person I want on the team. So I don't sign anyone up. So if I do a business post, somebody haven't heard from before likes it or even comments, I don't just message them and say, oh, here's the information. Do you want to do it? Do you want to sign up? Here's a challenge pack. You don't just message them right away and flood them with the information, because what if that person is a psychopath, right? You don't want those psychopaths being on your team. So you have to be sure that you're kind of pre-qualifying these people. So when you get these people that they'll like your post or whatever, and you reach out to them, just say, hey, I just saw you like my post. Before we get into that stuff, just tell me about yourself. What's your life look like? Are you into fitness right now? What kind of programs are you interested in? What are your goals moving forward? What has you interested, let's say, in the business post? Tell me more about your family, what your life looks like. You want to kind of know that person first. Especially if it's somebody you know personally, because I've made this mistake, and trust me, it's the most awkward situation you can put yourself in. If somebody you know in person, whether it be an old high school friend or a distant family member, don't talk business with those guys right away, because if they shoot you down, it makes it super awkward when you run into them. Oh, hey, sorry I declined your business, but how's things going? Super awkward. So especially with people you know personally, always reach out to them in the sense of a friend first. It should be that way with everybody. But if it's like an old high school friend, which is a common theme, you run into those people. Hey, how have you been? What have you been up to the last couple of years? That's all you have to do. Rather than, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a few years, but here's my business. And if you flood them with that information, they say no. Super awkward situation. Don't put yourself there. It sucks. So moving forward, people will see through your bullshit. Be authentic. You can do, I think this was Amy Silverman again. And watch that top 10 video that she covered. So she was talking about, don't be a copy and paste queen, because you can take 10 different coaches. You can have all of those 10 coaches post the exact same thing, and you're going to get 10 different responses based on that. You can't pretend on your Facebook, because people will see through it. Just like we all know people that they are either super negative all the time. You obviously see that person is genuinely negative, right? But then you have the opposite end of the spectrum where you see people post cheesy, fake, positive crap all the time. That's the kind of stuff that we see right through. We know that person, especially if it's somebody you know personally. I've had this happen too, where somebody you know personally, and you know that they are not necessarily happy and they may be struggling with something, but their Facebook says otherwise. It's all positive, fake crap. That is definitely a key that you need to pay attention to, because you can't, like, for myself, I fell into the habit a little bit in the past where I would post all my positive stuff happening in life. It was all true stuff that was happening, but that's all I posted about. And people see through that, because I look back at when I was posting all positive stuff and I say, where's the negative? Is this dude even real? And so now I'm getting better at posting my whole life. I go on tangents, I get pissed off, and I post about it. I'm real with people, and people see through that. I'm not just a fake marketer that we all do not want to be. Last one is going to be something that both Amy Silverman posted about and something Jason told me. So when I was first in Florida, I think it was the second day we were out there, Tristan and I are laying out by the pool, and we're coming from like 40, 45 degrees in rain here in Oregon, which sucks to be back in, by the way. My freaking fingers are cold. So we came from this weather to 85 degrees, no clouds, and just beaming done Florida heat by a pool. Tristan and I are laying there just soaking in the moment, because we finally, after a year, got to say, we're here. We've been waiting so long for this moment, and we're finally here. And we're telling Jason how happy we are, how much, we're proud of each other for, because it's a team effort, especially, if you guys are married, you understand it's a team effort. And we're talking about how excited we were to be on vacation. And Jason kind of stops me. He's like, whoa, hold on. You have to understand something. Vacation means you're escaping from something that you have to go back to, right? And for those of you who don't know, I quit my clinic job doing massage. I was renting space at a clinic here 3 days a week. And that was holding me back from taking my life and my business to the next level. That was holding me back from connecting with some of you guys, because I always had these last minute massages to book. And I got to the point where I say, you know what? I'm going to use this trip that I earned as a transition. So my last day was Tuesday, and I flew out on Thursday. And I get to come home to no job for the first time in 6 years. It's kind of scary. So when he said vacation means escape, you don't have to go back to something you hate. He said, this trip, this vacation, this is now a part of your lifestyle. This is the Beachbody lifestyle. We get to help people change their mindset and get in the best shape of their life. We get to take trips. We get to connect with some amazing people through our coaches. We get to build awesome friendships, and we just get to lift up and inspire each other. That's what the Beachbody lifestyle is. And that's now what I personally live. And I can't tell you how badly I want to help other people get there, because I've spent the last 5 years kind of building this thing myself. And then within the last year, I finally realized, you know what? I cannot do this alone anymore. I can't sit here by myself with a little taste of success and be happy with it. Because, you know, I true believer that God put us on this earth as a community, right? That I use all those teachings in this business too, because I truly believe that you cannot see success with this thing alone and be happy with it. There's coaches who make literally millions with this thing, right? And I'm talking about coaches that they have a huge downline, they rank up millions of dollars, but they're not plugging into their own teams. They kind of just bathe in their own success, right? I can't live that way. I have to be living successfully with a team, with a community, with a group. And I can't tell you guys how badly I want it for you to be right up here with me and to be hanging out at Summit and go on that Cancun trip next year completely with freedom. I can't tell you how badly I want it for you, but guess what? You have to want it for yourself, because it's just like, you know, us in the business wanting it for our downline coaches is the same thing as you wanting your challengers to eat right and work out. We want it so bad for them to lose that 50 pounds, right? But guess what? They're going to struggle. They're going to fall off track. They're going to disappear for a little bit. They're going to pop back on and say, I need help. It's the same thing with this whole business I'm learning. So I can want it more than enough for you guys. But until you look deep down inside of you and say, I want this more than I want complacency, that's when it will happen. Kind of like somebody who needs to lose 100 pounds and they're on the verge of a heart attack. Until their desire to change is more than their desire to just stay in that comfort level, that comfort zone, change only happens sometimes in a point of desperation. Maybe, you know, business-wise, maybe you just got fired from a job. Maybe you're extremely low on income. Maybe you have something going on with your family that you need money for. Those are the kinds of desperate situations. Those create desperate whys to get you to do something. But if you're not in that situation, it's actually going to be a little harder to get yourself that motivated to make something out of it, right? Because if you live a great lifestyle, you're not necessarily struggling with money issues. That's where it gets harder to keep the motivation high. And, you know, I'm coming from experience here, because doing massage therapy, I made great money. Money really hasn't been an issue, but it made it that much harder for me to come up with my true why. And I've been blessed enough with the gift. I've been blessed enough with the gift of passion and drive. And I've learned to open up my eyes to these gifts. And instead of holding them back, I just let it flow and I go with it because of those gifts I've been given. My why comes from literally helping others. My why comes from giving my wife and my family a better life. because when I don't want to wait till I'm 60 years old to retire, because when I'm 60 years old, I'm not going to be able to do what I can right now at 25. Why not create wealth now so I can experience it while my body can physically do stuff, right? I want to travel. I want to jump out of airplanes. I want to do all that kind of stuff. But I need to build not just the wealth, but I need to build the mindset and the community of like-minded people to do that with. So that's all I got for you today. I'm sorry I went on a few little tangents, but you guys know how I roll. Aside from that, moving forward, I'm 100% Beachbody as of today. And it's still kind of weird because I feel like I have massage days coming up, but I really don't. So I'm a little bit about my life now. I am booking house call massages on the side, but I'm only doing like 3 or 4 a week. And that's not consistently. I'm going to do massage again just because I love it, not because I need to rely on that income. So now that my schedule is completely open Monday through Saturday, Sundays are still completely off. Saturdays I'll be done at about 2 or 3 p.m. So if it's after 3 p.m. my time Saturday, I'm out of touch until Monday morning. So if you guys message me at all, do not expect a reply until Monday morning. So I have to take my business a little more seriously than usual. I have to set my hours and follow those hours. I have to treat this thing like a true business. So with that, which one I'm going to start with? One-on-one calls. So I've been doing one-on-one calls with people for months, and I'm pretty much starting with a clean slate right now. So I have no scheduled calls with anybody. I'm doing the same thing with my challengers. I have no calls with anybody as of today. But if you guys want a one-on-one call as a weekly check-in, I'm going to have a requirement for it. Business activity tracker. That will need to be completed and emailed to me within 1 hour of our scheduled call. Why? Because like I just talked about for the last hour, I'm in this business as a serious business person, and I'm taking this thing seriously. So if you want my time and my energy put into you, I expect you to be taking it seriously as well. I don't want to waste time with time wasters. I don't want to waste time with people who are a discount coach. I don't want to waste time with people who are just kind of like, okay, it would be cool to do this, but I don't know. If you're all in, I want to work with you. I want to build a team of leaders who are actually going to do something with this. So if you want to set up a one-on-one call, message me today or when you see this recording. Message me what days work best for you. And I'll give you a reply back with what times work best for me. And we'll come up with a day and a time each week to connect. And the business activity tracker is updated. I used to hate this thing. Never did it because it was long, it was drawn out, and I just didn't feel the need to do it. Now they updated it, right? So it's funny because it's updated almost exactly how I've had my daily task list. When I first looked at that and I went, holy crap, that's exactly what I wrote on my whiteboard. They pretty much put that as the activity tracker. So if you want that one-on-one call with me, if you need my help, you got to earn it. Business activity tracker every week. So with that, part of it is setting your goals. So every Monday morning or every Sunday night, I love to start my weeks on Mondays, obviously, like most people do. I can't start my week on the Thursday that Beachbody has the refresh, so I always do Mondays for myself. But every Monday, there's a section where you can fill out your goals for the whole week. So I highly recommend, and I'll post this in the group with this recording as a resource, so you can just click on the link and download or print it off. But that business activity tracker is awesome, and I'm excited to start using it consistently. I'm actually going to print it off and get it laminated so I can use dry erase marker on it to put it right up here, so I don't have to print off a ton of stuff every week. So aside from that, this has been Coach Jazz. Thank you guys for being a part of the team. I am happy to be back home so I can actually get going with my routines again. Aside from that, any questions? What's
Question.
up,
On the activity tracker, if we post to Craigslist, can we count that as talking to somebody, even though we might not physically talk to anybody?
No, because talking to somebody is physically talking to somebody.
All right, that's it.
Posting to Craigslist would be, I wouldn't even count that on the business activity tracker at all. I mean, I guess you can count it as a reach out, but I wouldn't count that as a follow up, or I wouldn't count that as talking to somebody, because if that's all people are doing,
Almost done.
you'll never see anything out of it. You'll get people from Craigslist, so when you physically talk to that person from Craigslist, you can count that. But for the most part, talking to somebody means you've had a conversation with them, because like I always talk about, you have to talk to more people, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean post more on Instagram, post more on Facebook, or post more Craigslist ads. It has to be one-on-one conversations with people. So and this is where a mistake a lot of people don't understand, is a lot of people go throughout this business and they talk to people through just Facebook postings or comments, and they're not actually talking to anyone or anything. So that's kind of my little take on it. So it has to be, if you're going to be marking that down, it has to be, you actually have to have a conversation with that person. That counts as talking to somebody.
Got it.
Any others? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on the live call. Thank you for watching the recording. Aside from that, I am off to have my first day as a Beachbody. Peace out.